Uh-oh, Prince Harry's upcoming Polo documentary is disappointing Netflix bosses who expected more bang for their buck. Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I am Andy Signor, and in news that should surprise absolutely no one, Prince Harry's Polo documentary is not faring well as Netflix bosses are finally seeing the series and sharing their thoughts. Now, this is coming in from sources on the Daily Mail, coming in through Page 6. And yes, the streaming giant execs are reportedly upset that the project hardly features Harry at all. Now, that's the biggest shocker to me. If this is in fact true, Harry's removed himself from the series. You'd think he would have put himself all over it. Apparently, this is Nacho's show, not his show. This documentary in the world of polo, the sport called Polo, set for December, is not faring well with the Netflix bosses. The series is heavily focused on the Duke's pal, Nacho Figueros, a professional polo player in Argentina. Source told the outlet that Netflix expected to get more bang for its buck. Apart from their documentary series, which had the drama of them quitting the royal family, everything else they've produced has been underwhelming. Hollywood producer told the outlet, any reasonable person tuning into a show about polo made by Prince Harry would expect Harry to take a starring role. Well, apparently that's not the case. That he's not in it is hugely disappointing for Netflix. Let's face it, polo isn't exactly a mainstream sport, so the attraction would have been watching Harry. Without him, it's marginal at best, the insider went on. Netflix deal expires next year, so the Sussexes need a big hit. This sounds like a big nothing burger. Source added that Netflix bosses were disappointed with the final edit of the documentary, which was executive produced by Harry and Meghan. What Netflix has received in return doesn't look great. People want personal stuff, the insider said, adding that behind the scenes, the series has been nicknamed The Nacho Show. For a show about a sport of kings, polo barely features any royalty. It's not the Harry show, it's the Nacho Show. The Post has reached out for comments. They haven't gotten any, but this is the latest. So we did get that first look. They released it the most untimely time. Yeah, look, am I surprised by this? No. The photos that released didn't feature Harry either. I'm a little surprised that he wouldn't put himself all over it, but I bet you he's trying to avoid seeming like he's all over the place. It's going to look bad that he's not actually in this polo show. It's weird. I'm curious where you guys stand on this. Should he be doing a polo show that has nothing to do with him? Or should he be focusing on his polo with his friend Nacho and everybody else? I mean, technically, he should be able to tell stories that he's not involved in, but this is a Harry and Meghan deal. It's produced by Harry and Meghan. They're going to expect to see Harry and Meghan, especially since he's a polo player. So this whole thing is strange. And these reports coming in from Netflix, no, they don't surprise me. Now, again, these are coming in from sources. It could all be false. We'll see as this finally premieres in December. But yeah, it seems very believable. If I'm going to be honest, it seems pretty believable. Also in the news, Harry has now appeared without Meghan for the 7th time in 7 days. He's attending the WellChild Awards, but is not expected to meet the king or prince during the visit. Duh. Really? He's not going to see them? What a surprise. He's been in London. He arrived in London for the ceremony, but King Charles is off in Scotland. King has not seen his youngest son since the announcement of his cancer diagnosis in February, which, let's be honest, is sad. It is absolutely sad. But I understand why he hasn't, because you can't trust Prince Harry. So now he's back in London. Netflix show edits are clearly not very good as they're coming in, and he's out there jetting around to these award shows and appearing on Jimmy Fallon. Oh my God, what a joke that was. But now he's out there with the WellChild Awards, presenting an award and delivering the speech at the annual ceremony, which honors seriously ill children. Not going to knock that. Good for him. It is what it is. But this whirlwind return to UK falls in the middle of a hectic schedule, which has him crisscrossing the globe without his wife to promote his charitable interests. He was not expected to meet with his father, who's in Scotland, or his brother, who hates him. The Duke's appearance at the WellChild Awards, an event he's long made a point of attending, comes hot on the heels of 5 high-profile speeches in New York last week on behalf of his various charities, as well as a star turn in The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon in the U.S. This thing was just awful. This thing was ridiculous. The whole trying to force him in there, just look. I'll be honest, I prefer to see him in this type of thing where he can make fun of himself and have fun and be light. I don't hate him, the idea of him doing it, but he's about as genuine as Jimmy Fallon. I don't like Jimmy Fallon that much either. He just always feels very phony, disingenuous, trying to get clicks. He's my least favorite late night host. There just doesn't seem to be anything there. He's happy. But Prince Harry being scared in this maze, I didn't. Look, it should have been funny. Even though I don't like Harry, this should have been funny, and I didn't find it funny at all. I didn't find it amusing. I didn't find anything. What did you guys think of this thing there? I'd play it, but Tonight Show is notoriously hard to play clips from. But anyway, he's out there doing all these speeches. He's spoken both English and Seathto, language of the less slow, as he described the country as a home away from home last week. He said the tiny landlocked nation and its royal family had been a pillar of strength for him personally over the last 20 years, and he had welcomed with open arms and such kindness. The Duke's currently required to give 30 days notice of his travel plans to the UK, so each visit can be assessed on its merits for security purposes. Because he keeps trying to say he doesn't get security. He does. He's just got to plan in advance like the rest of us do. He can't just show up and have the taxpayers foot the bill. That's what happens when you don't want to actually do your service over there as a royal. He opted not to stay at a royal residence in London. I mean, let's call it what it was. He wasn't invited. Having previously raised concerns about his security, his lack of guaranteed police protection remains a bone of contention after he lost the High Court. The Duke's appeal against the ruling will be heard next April, but he remains insistent that it is too dangerous to bring his wife or children. Fear of knife or acid. But, Nigeria, Colombia, they're all good. They're safe. Make it make sense, people. Literally, Montecito public book shows where anybody could show up and be crazy. That's fine. London, with the security has, not okay. Duke has thought to have seen his father in February. That's what we last heard. Unclear if there's been something else. But they spent no more than 40 minutes together at the Clarence house. They did not meet when he returned to London, despite being, he was invited to stay in Buckingham Palace. I didn't hear that. I don't know if I believe that. He was invited, I guess, at the palace when he returned for that funeral of his uncle, Lord Fellows, allegedly. But he stayed with Earl Spencer, Diana's family, at the ancestral home in Althorpe in Northamptonshire. The Duke has been a patron of WellChild, which we know. So he's doing that since 2007. He's always done these awards. It's true. Duke wrote in his memoir, Spare, that the event was always gutting, the children so brave and their parents so proud, but tortured. He choked up as he attempted to deliver his speech, later revealing that the gratitude and sympathy converged after he caught sight of his wife in front row and thought of their son, Prince Archie, who was a baby at the time. Look, I will nag and rag on Harry a lot, but I can't make fun of him or be mad at him for supporting the WellChild Awards. Now, is he doing it for some of his best interests? Maybe. Every celebrity does this for their own, does charity work for their own self-interest. But thank goodness he's stuck to this one. He shows up and he really does make it a point. I can't be mad at this one. I can't. I'm not going to be. Good for him showing up again, doing this. It is what it is. I'm sure some of you will find an excuse to be mad at him about that. But it's interesting he refuses to keep taking Meghan. He should be bringing Meghan and his kids to these events so they can really all be there to help get more press, right? That's what it's all about, but they refuse, even when it's a charity for sick kids. So that is frustrating, but at least he showed up himself. I'm more focused on this right now. I want to see his producerial endeavors and how they fare, and I have a sneaking suspicion this really is going to be a huge disappointment for Netflix. I look, the idea of a Polo documentary could be interesting. It could, but produced by Harry and Meghan, not including Harry and Meghan, it's an odd choice. It's a very odd choice, but we will see. We will be sure to pay attention as it comes out. What do you think? Hit that subscribe button to get alerts. Make sure you hit the bell so you get those alerts. Hit all so you get them all. Smash that like when you do. Leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. So you think this report from Netflix is accurate? Want to hear your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching here on Popcorn Palace. We have lots more coming.